Question 3.2.5, it says determine the equation of the line perpendicular to PK that passes through N and write the equation in the general form. So the general form is given as AX plus BY plus C is equal to 0. That is the general form of a straight line equation. So where to find this? It is on page 116 from your textbook. And then what does A stands for? It stands for gradient. From the question paper, the question has been given incorrectly there. It says determine the equation of the line parallel to PK, of which we were not given on the information the parallel lines, but we were given the perpendicular lines. It was said that PK is perpendicular to LN. So this is what was given, not the parallel lines. Okay. So if we're given that PK is perpendicular to LN, what does that mean? It means the gradient of PK times the gradient of LN is equal to -1. Because remember, the rule says when the lines are parallel, the product of their gradient is equal to -1. That means M, let me write it quickly here. Okay, let me use the next. So we know that M1 times M2 is equal to -1. That is what we know. Okay, so in our case, we know that MBK times MLN is equal to -1. Okay, so what else is given? We're given that this point N is 3:6. These are the coordinates that are given. And then with the first question 3.2.1, we have calculated the gradient of LN is equal to 2. So where is LN? This is point LN. This is, okay, let me make, this is point N, this is point L. So this line is LN. So if we want to know what is the gradient of this line, this line is made up of point N, K, and L. So it means the gradient of this line is the same from point N up to point L. So we've calculated the gradient of NK in question 3.2.1, that it is equal to 2. So this was calculated in question 3.2.1, that the gradient is equal to 2. So it means that gradient of LN as well is equal to 2. Why? Because they are at the same points. They are the points on the same line. They are the points on the same line. Okay, now we can start. Now let us calculate the gradient of PK. It says M1 times M2 is equal to -1. Therefore, M of PK times M of LN is equal to -1. Why? Because we're given that PK is perpendicular to LN. That was what was given. Okay, now let's substitute. MPK, we don't know. M, that means the gradient of PK times the gradient of LN, this is the gradient of LN, is equal to 2, is equal to -1. Then what is 2 times MPK? It's 2 gradient of PK, okay, is equal to -1. Okay, so as not to be confused, we can ignore this PK, but we can say 2M is equal to -1. Excuse me, we all know that we're calculating the gradient of PK. So we can say 2M is equal to -1. Then if we want to remain with M only, we divide by 2 both sides. Then 2 goes here once, then what is 1 times M is M. Then the gradient of PK is -1/2. That is our first step in answering this question. Then the next step, this line passes through n is equal to k, but now let us rewrite in the form of y is equal to mx plus c and substitute the value of m first. The value of m, it's negative 1 over 2 x, this x plus c. Then it passes through the point n. The value of n coordinates is 3:6. What does 3 stands for? It stands for x. What does 6 stands for? It stands for y. Then in place of y, we're going to substitute 6. Let us do in this step. 6 is equal to negative 1 over 2. Then in place of x, we substitute 3 plus c. Okay. Then let's remove the brackets. You can use your calculator. What is negative 1 over 2 times 3? Okay, the answer is going to be negative 3 over 2. So what is 3 over 2? You can write it in decimal. 3 over 2, the answer here is negative 1,5 plus c is equal to 6. Now let's calculate c. C is going to be 6 plus 1,5, because if this negative goes to this side, it becomes positive. Therefore, what is c? What is 6 plus 1,5? The answer is 7,5. Okay, so we've got m, we've got c. Now let's substitute. In place of y is equal to mx plus c, y is equal to the value of m we've calculated. It was negative 1 over 2x. Then the value of c, it was positive 7,5. We've calculated. We were going to say this is the final answer, but the statement says leave your answer in a general form. So what is the general form? The general form is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. A stands for m. A, this is your m, the value of m. Now let's substitute. The value of m is equal to what we can do is we can take this one over. Can you see on this side it is a negative 1 over 2x, so we can rewrite like this. We can say it's positive 1 over 2x plus the y minus the c. The c is negative 7,5 is equal to 0. Okay, so if we want to remove these two, that is a denominator, we're going to multiply by these two each and every term. So we've got 2 times 1 over 2 x plus 2 times y minus 2 times 7,5 is equal to 0 times 2. Okay, so the 2 is going to be cancelled by these 2. Then what is 1 times x is x, plus what is 2 times y is 2y, minus what is 2 times 7,5, it's 15. What is 0 times 2? It is equal to 0. So this is the general form of this equation. Thank you.